So we're going to start off today by doing some full-time practice since we're studying time. So in order to get to that, we're going to the grades 1, 2, and 3. And on the right, there's the clock. And the students can pick any background that they're more interested in. So they're definitely more seasonally oriented. But today, let's do the hearts.
What is the time?
Okay. So my friends, you're going to help me tell the time. We always start with the little hand. And the little hand is between the 2 and the 3. So it did not cross the finish line to 3 yet. That means it's still 2 something. So it's not 3:30. This says 2:30. It could be that one. And it's not 1:30. So I know it's 2:30. But let's check the minute hand to make sure it's on the 30. So I need you to help me count by 5, starting at the 1. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it says 2:30.
Awesome! It is 2:30.
Okay.
What is the time?
So we always start with the little hand, and it's between the 5 and the 6. So it didn't cross the finish line to 6 yet. That means it's 5 something. So it could be 5:30. It can't be 8 o'clock, and it can't be 2 o'clock. That means it's 5:30, but we're going to check the minute hand too to make sure it's on the 30. I need you to help me count by 5s until we get to the 6. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This clock shows 5:30.
Good job! It is 5:30.
One more.
What is the time?
Okay, so we always start with our little hand because little ones go to bed earlier, right? So we always start little. So the little hand is pointing right at this number right there. What does it say? 6. And the big hand is pointing right at the 12. And when it's pointing at the 12, we say, o'clock. So this shows 6 o'clock. We don't even need to practice counting by 5s because it's pointing right at the top middle. So it shows 6 o'clock.
Good job! It is 6 o'clock.
One o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock,
All right, great job. Now we're going to go to our Nearpod code. So we're practicing telling time today. And our code is FAYJU. FAYJU. So you're joining with that code. And you're going to start by typing in your name and then hitting join session so I can see all your hard work. We're going to practice telling 2 problems time to the hour, 2 to the half hour, and 2 to the 15-minute mark. I hope that you can help me. Okay? Time to the hour. Read the question, find the answer, place the time on the clock. This morning in science class, my teacher talked about celebrating Earth Day. What time did the science class start? So on all of these, it's going to be the big hand on the 12, which means o'clock. So it says o'clock in all the answers and on the clocks already for us. So we need to look at the little hand only to tell time to the hour. So what number is the little hand pointing at? Do you see it here? Is it pointing at an 8 or an 11? It's pointing at the 8, so we're going to circle 8 o'clock. That means we need to write an 8 o'clock in the clock. So we can type an 8 if that's easier for us and slide it over. Okay? So this clock shows 8 o'clock a.m. because it says morning. Let's look at the next one. This afternoon, my sister did a craft to celebrate Earth Day. What time did my sister start doing the craft? So let's look. It's pointing, the little hand is pointing right here. And the big hand is pointing at the 12, which means o'clock, like O-O, O-O, O-O. So our choices are 5 o'clock or 2 o'clock. What is it pointing at? A 2 o'clock. So we're going to circle 2 o'clock and put a 2 in the box. You can write it or type it. I know it's a little hard to write on this program. So it says afternoon, and that's why it says 2 o'clock p.m. When you're done circling 8 and 2 and writing 8 and 2, you hit submit. Great job telling time to the hour. On this one, we're telling time to the half hour. The half hour means that the big hand is going to be pointed at the 6, which means 30, because when we count by 5s like this, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, that's where we stop, on the 30, just like that big hand. So let's look at the clocks. All of them are pointing down at the 6 with the big hand. So they all have 30. Look, all of the choices have a 30. So what we really need to look at for this one is where the little hand is. So when you look at where the little hand is, it's between the 7 and the 8. It didn't cross the finish line for 8 yet, so it's still at 7. So this clock down here shows 7:30, not 8:30. It didn't get there yet. Okay, like when you're going to the doctor's office, you don't say you're at the doctor's office when you're on the way to in the car. So it's on its way to 8, but it didn't get there yet, so it's still on 7. Okay. This afternoon in social studies class, I learned about laws. What time did social studies class end? So we need to look first at the little hand. My little hand is in between the 1 and the 2. It didn't get to 2 yet. So it's not 5:30. It's not 3:30. Does this show 1:30? It does. It shows 1:30. Okay, it didn't get to 2 yet, so it's still on the 1. 1:30. Now we have to circle AM or PM. We have to go back to the words for that. This afternoon. Morning is AM and afternoon is PM. Okay? This afternoon, 1:30 p.m. is when social studies class ended. Let's look at the next one. This afternoon, my teacher read a newspaper about Greta Thunberg. We read about her on Monday. What time did my teacher start reading the article? So we need to look at the little hand first, okay? Here's my little hand. It didn't get to 6 yet. It's in between the 5 and the 6, so it's still on 5. 5:30. Okay? Not 2:30. 5:30, yes, not 7:30. This shows 5:30 because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, that's where the big hand is pointing. 5:30. Okay. It says this afternoon. Do you remember from up here when we had afternoon, if we said it's AM or PM? Because this is afternoon too, which shows PM. So we have 1:30 PM and 5:30 PM. When you're done, hit submit. Great job. We have one more page to do. You're doing amazing. Okay. This one we're doing to the quarter hour. So we already did when it's pointing at 12. And we already did when it's pointing, the big hand's pointing at 6. So on this one, we're focusing on when the big hand's at 3 or 9. So here it's pointing at 3, and here it's pointing at 9. So if it's pointing at the 3, that means it's going to be something 15. Because when we start at 1 and count by 5s, we end at 15. Ready? 5, 10, 15. So this clock shows 10, 15. Let's look at when it's 45. The little hand shows me it's 3. It didn't reach the 4 yet. So I'm going to count by 5s, and I hope that you can repeat after me if you can't do it with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So when the big hand is on the 9, that really means it's 45 minutes. Okay. This afternoon, a scientist gave a speech about protecting Earth. What time did the speech end? So, first we go to our little hand. My little hand is between the 4 and the 5. It didn't get to 5 yet. Okay, so it means it's still 4 something, not 7 something, not 1 something, 4:45. Let's check the minute hand just to make sure. So can you help me count by 5s till we get to this big hand on the 9? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So this shows 4:45. So we circle 4:45, and then we need to put it in. I know I need to make it a little thinner in order to fit it. 4:45. It might be easier for you to type it, and if you need to type it and put it over here, that's fine. Okay? Now we need to circle AM or PM. So we have to go to the words. This afternoon. Do you remember from the last page if afternoon was AM or PM? I'll give you a hint. AM is morning, not afternoon. Afternoon is PM. So let's look at what we circled. 4:45. We wrote or typed 4:45, and we circled PM. We have one more problem left, and you're all done with math for today. Great job. Ready? This afternoon, a reporter interviewed Greta Thunberg. What time did the interview start? So here we have a clock. We need to look at the little hand first. My little hand is in between the 2 and the 3. Did it get to the 3 yet? No, so it's still 2. So it's not 12:15. It is 2:15. It's not 5:15. So now all I need to do is check the minute hand to make sure it says 15 when it's pointed at the 3. I want to count by 5s. On the 1, 2, and 3. Can you help me? 5, 10, 15. So it shows 2:15. So we're going to write in or type in 2:15. Okay? 2:15. It also says afternoon for this. And when it's afternoon, we circle PM. PM is afternoon and evening. Okay? That's when we're getting ready to put our pajamas on. It starts with a P, okay? When you're done, hit submit. And you're all done telling time. You did such a great job to the hour, to the half hour, and to the 15 minutes, to the quarter hour. Now, parents, you can always have them do more practice on the starfall that I showed you in the beginning if you want. And it's always great practice to try counting by 5s since it helps us with time and money. Thank you so much.